So what do you think then John Morosi meant when he went on 710 this week and said the Mariners checked in on not Hye-Seong Kim, one of his former countrymen in Korea who is going to be posted and could come over here to MLB this season, Hye-Seong Kim, another infielder. What do you think the Mariners, what level of checking in there? Did they slide in his Instagram DMs? Did they reach out to his agent? What did they do?
I'm sure there's been conversations. The Mariners are usually pretty tuned in on a lot of the international players. And Morosi did say he had actual face-to-face conversations with Justin Hollander at the GM meetings this week, which is going on. So I'm sure that didn't come from nowhere. We know that Morosi's developed at times a little bit of a nickname on Mariners Twitter that may or may not be tabbed as the Yapper, considering last offseason he said the Mariners were linked to Cody Bellinger, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Shohei at one point. Who else am I forgetting? Literally every free agent ever he said the Mariners were linked to last year, and a lot of Mariners fans got really, really tired of it. Which, again, this is why Passan only tweets when things break. Anyway, that being said, in fairness to Morosi, he has clearly had conversations at the GM meetings this week with Justin Hollander. He said that. He said Justin Hollander was talking about how second base is going to be one of their priorities this offseason for finding outside talent to help upgrade the roster. And Hye-Seong Kim is a middle infielder and a guy who, in theory, if the Mariners signed, would play second base. So I think what he means is the Mariners have done their due diligence. They've talked to his agent. They probably want to know what his price range is. And they internally are at least going to consider it. Certainly doesn't mean they're going to do it. But unlike the Rays checking in on Juan Soto, I am sure there is some level of intrigue. It may be 5%, but there is not. It's non-zero.
So let's fill in a little bit of background about Hye-Seong Kim. He's been in Korea for the last 8 years. He's a strong defender up the middle. He has a 766 career OPS in Korea. Morosi was throwing out some numbers on Thursday on 710 saying he would get a contract around 2 years for $15 million. If you want to wonder why the Mariners are in on Hye-Seong Kim, that contract number, I would believe, is a huge reason why. He's in their budget, costing about $7.5 million a year. Morosi said 7 to 8, so we'll go right in the middle there with that contract projection. It's really interesting, though. He's got a very similar profile to Hye-Seong Kim, who's already over here in Major League Baseball and is a free agent, and who we talked about on Wednesday's episode as also a strong defender, but also has 4 years of Major League Baseball under his belt and has at least shown he could be an above-average hitter in Major League Baseball. Not a great hitter, but above average. I can't say the same thing for Hye-Seong Kim.
No. If you'd like to just have me get straight into the point here, as Mark Cuban would say on Shark Tank, and for that reason, I'm out. Guy's never played in the big leagues. And I know every guy that comes over internationally, that's the same case. But number one, it's pretty well known Japan is a more competitive league than Korea. People say the KBO is about equivalent to AA competition. So you'd be paying a guy that's essentially never played over AA level competition to come in, take a starting role on a big league team that's supposed to be contending, and ask him to translate in terms of going from the KBO to big league caliber play right away. That's a lot to ask of a guy. And if you want to look at some examples, this is not the best hitter by any stretch to ever come over from Korea. And there are guys that have come over from Korea that have really struggled. Look, in fairness to Kim, last 2 seasons he's put up an 840 OPS. But an 840 OPS in the KBO doesn't scream like a guy that's going to come over and have instant success at the plate in the big leagues right away. He may play good defense, but if you're looking for a defense first second baseman, go sign Hye-Seong Kim, who's done it and been there and had real success in the majors.
The recent examples you referenced of guys coming over, let's look at Hye-Seong Kim when he came over. He had an 866 OPS in Korea before coming over in the 2021 season. His first season in Major League Baseball, Hye-Seong Kim had a 71 WRC+. Now, because of his great defense, he had about a 2.1 F WAR, which is good, or a 2.1 B WAR. Close. It's in the same ballpark. He was worth over 2 wins. Jung-Hoo Lee was an even better hitter than Hye-Seong Kim when he came over last year. Smaller sample size, I think it was just 40 games he played with the Giants before getting hurt. He had a 900 career OPS in Korea before he came over. He had an 83 WRC plus last year. It's not easy for these guys to come over here and blow it out of the water offensively. It's an enormous jump. And while Hye-Seong Kim, over the course of 4 seasons, has developed into a very valuable Major League player, in which case 2 years ago he was worth over 4 wins while putting up a 110 WRC plus with his plus defense. That's great. It took him 3 years to get there. If you're thinking about this, let me ask you this question. Would you be okay signing someone for $7.5 million to put up over 2 wins, but his WRC plus is 71? Would you be okay with that? Answer for me is absolutely not.
Same here, because that's essentially the last 4.5 months of Josh Rojas this past season. Played great defense, was a 2-win player, but didn't hit. If that's what you're gonna sign up for, just roll Rojas back out there. $7.5 million for that? No. And look, Jung-Hoo Lee may still go on to have a really good big league career, but in year 1, I know it was a small sample. Got a 640 OPS. He looked overmatched at times against big league pitching. To be fair, he didn't strike out much, but he wasn't exactly a productive bat. If the best hitter in Korea has that type of struggle, I don't love what it means for Hye-Seong Kim. Because again, if he's on a 2-year deal, it's not like Jung-Hoo Lee being on a 6-year contract where he's going to have time to get acclimated. Maybe by year 3, he's really good. You don't have that time with Hye-Seong Kim on a 2-year contract. You don't have that time, period. This window, I hate to say it, it's closing for the Mariners. You've got maybe 2 years left, max, before you start to see guys get traded if they're not going to extend them. So you got to capitalize on that. And what could be a 70 WRC plus hitter that you'd sign for $7.5 million? No, absolutely not. Get serious about signing real bats with big league success to get on this infield for your team. Do not take flyers anymore. No more flyers.
The math, I think, is pretty simple on this one. You could think about this way. If they sign Hye-Seong Kim before Hye-Seong Kim signs, like say someone blows the number for Hye-Seong Kim out of the water that I'm going to project here, this is probably your fallback option, which is still not good. But if you think about the math this way, so Hye-Seong Kim, we project it's like 3 for 45 or 4 for 60, $15 million a year, give or take. Let's say it's 3 for 45. Like that's the price tag that the Mariners would be okay getting Hye-Seong Kim to Seattle. The decision to make would be, do we want to pay $30 more total million dollars, not per year, total $1 million for a more proven player, or save $30 million total with an unproven player? $30 million in the grand scheme of things over the course of 3 years, it's not that much money. So it's a pretty easy decision. Maybe Hye-Seong Kim, who is going to play next year at age 26, could eventually be an average Major League Baseball player, but not next year. Sorry.
The easy answer should be to pay Hye-Seong Kim the extra money.
Right.
But that's our answer.
Yeah.
What would the Mariners and the ownership say about that? You know what I think they'd say about giving that much more money to Hye-Seong Kim? I'd say, no, sorry, I'm trying to hold it back here. I'm really trying to hold it back. I'm trying to. Not a smart strategy. Oh, sorry. I just sometimes it just comes out. I tried to hold it back and I failed.
It's like a sneeze.
I know, it really is like a sneeze. I tried not to do it and it was impossible. Sorry. Oh, my bad. I'm going to work on it. I really am.